went to LA to visit my friend, BCFTR. Now, the last time we saw each other in person, it was, literally traumatizing. Go watch that video if you haven't. It's like my magnum opus. Okay, well, if you're still here, I returned to LA to just, like, hang out. I didn't really have a plan, and you know what? That's sometimes when the best stuff happens. But first, I had to fly over the desert in a plane with When I got to LA, I had to figure out a way to get around. And you can't rent a car without just being gouged for money. At such a young age of 21, I didn't rent a car. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna figure out the bus system. And I kinda did. But the transfer route Google Maps told me to take didn't exist, so I got off at a bus stop in Redondo Beach for like 30 minutes before realizing the bus it wanted me to take just didn't go through there anymore, or maybe ever. So I got back on the original bus I was on and then took a different route. So it ended up taking me like at least 2 hours to get from the airport. So things were going great already. I said that as if things were gonna get worse, but you know what? No, that's probably as bad as it got. Scientists say this is the last image your brain sees before you die. Let's see, then I met the squirrel. It is real. I don't know if anyone was saying it wasn't, but our first excursion was to a botanic garden. Not a botanical garden, but a botanic garden.
Dude, look at the bark of it. It's spiky. Yeah.
And we looked at funky plants all day. I do love looking at funky cactus.
Look at that. Look at the old man cactus. Agave. That's what they make tequila from. Da, 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 da.
It's great. It's like you get to see all the different types of cactus without having to go to like all the different places cactus grow. Very efficient.
My favorite.
He's got a beard.
How does he get that? I don't know. Well, I thought it was dick shaped.
Squirrel eating the succulent.
Yeah. Get it. Get it. Take back with you.
There's also this like art made out of recycled trash type exhibit thing there. You know the type. And a lot of them had like cutesy names like, oh, Creamsicle the jellyfish. Except for this puffin, who was just called Sebastian James. It's a normal human ass name.
Just one as a treat. One succulent. One succulent as a treat. Oh, there's a lizard. For the road. What's up, lizard? Dude, if I was a lizard, I don't want to live here.
The Botanic Gardens also had a butterfly pavilion. There's also this butterfly fluttering around outside, so hopefully that's not a problem. Now the butterfly exhibit already costed like an additional $10 to the ticket, but for another $6, you could get the feeding experience, which got you a vial of nectar. I was imagining like a little, what's the word, beaker? No, test tube of nectar. Instead they hand me this tiny little flower ring filled with Gatorade. Here's the worst part, the butterflies do not give a shit about your weird little plastic ring filled with Gatorade. By the way, like the Gatorade thing sounds like kind of a shitposty thing I would say, but the butterfly people themselves said it was Gatorade, so, yeah, there's like real flowers in there, so why would they want a plastic one? Also the orange slices, which look very tempting. I don't know why. I'm not like I avidly crave citrus all the time. Then, after visiting the butterfly pavilion, we tried to find the lake that's supposedly on the Botanic Garden grounds.
It's thriving lake.
Anyways, like next day or something, BC had to go to work, so I was like, okay, I'll take the bus down to the coast. And then I missed the bus by 1 minute. I was on the other side of the street when I watched it go by, so I said, fuck it, I will walk there. And so I walked to the ocean, and then I was like, oh shit, in order to be back at the house on time, I have to just walk back right now. But I did see this cool lighthouse, and a droid in a guy's yard, and some snails, so you know what, was it worth it? Yeah, sure. The ocean air felt nice. Now we got to the one thing we had planned, going to the aquarium in Long Beach. So yes, here we are, two grown-ass human adults at the aquarium.
I'll take a picture of jellyfish. What? Jellyfish. what jelly they picked. Look at that. That guy? Look at him. He's got his shrimp.
This one tank had like sloshing water waves in it, which I've never seen before. It seems a lot of effort. Of course, I had to see the octopus, you know. They had 2 of them there, which is more than I thought there would be. I thought there'd only be 1.
Are you telling me that's not real coral? Really? Get back here. We insulted him. Look at that. What is that? They got the thing from Minecraft. They do. And I want Gay Atlantis has fallen. A lone flag left adrift. Yeah. Well, there certainly was. How many blue whales are there? 5?
There's also a surprising amount of birds at the aquarium.
I think he just came here to eat the fish. It's like a shark. Oh. Gross shark mouth. Carpet man. Shark.
I also had this, like, infinite dead coral exhibit or something.
Spot prawn. There it is. Yeah. What is it? What is it? How can it?
Figure. Unlike our California sea lions, they're a lot more slender. They have a more solid color, and that's going to also help break up their figure. I also want to direct everyone's attention to their fins, or their...
They had like this demonstration where they're like talking about all the fish that live in the tank or whatever, and the diver was feeding them. But then they had like the diver start to talk, and it's like, what is the point of this?
For that animal, and you'll notice several animals in here with that same thing. And when you look at them from below, they'll be.
It sounds worse. I don't get anything from hearing the diver tell us facts.
Like they're just... They're a ketchup packet. Turtle. Split. Why does it have human lips?
And now, I'm sure you're wondering what life-changing experience I had at the aquarium. I got to pet a sturgeon. Yeah, that's right. Is this a joke? Kind of, but also sturgeon are my favorite fish. In 7th grade, we had a class project in biology. It was like, oh, everyone pick a native fish. I picked the white sturgeon. And then it's like, oh, by the way, they can be from like 12 to 20 foot long. So the project was to make like a little model fish out of paper. You take paper, draw fish on it, cut it out, stuff with newspaper, and then that's like, then you have like a little fish. Now the idea was like, it'd be like, oh, if you make them to scale, or you can like shrink them down if they're too big. I will not be shrinking my sturgeon down. I will make it to scale. I made a 12-foot long paper sturgeon out of like butcher's paper, and I felt so triumphant bringing that into school. I used like 4 gray colored pencils to make it. And you know that like ceiling tile stuff they have in schools? It got hung up with 4 hooks. It ripped a chunk of ceiling tile out with the massive fish I made, and then they didn't give it back to me at the end of the year, so I don't know where he is. He probably got destroyed. R.I.P. But yes, that's why sturgeons are my favorite fish, and why I was excited that I got to pet one. And apparently sturgeons are one of the fish we're allowed to pet outside of like raisin sharks, because like their scales are non-existent and fused into these bony plates. Like, you can still pet a fish with scales, but it's probably a bit more delicate, and they don't want kids, you know? I mean, there's also the standard touch tank stuff like rays and sharks and whatever, and BC tried to get one to bite him, but touched a sturgeon for the first time, and that was pretty neat.
Alright, do it. Get bit by a shark.
Do it, get bit, alright.
I don't want to. They don't like me. Touching it. We need to free them. Release them all into in this water.
And then after the aquarium, we walked into a hat store. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Watch another Goshen Man video, especially the Jeep Fire one. When I started making this video, I had no idea what it was gonna be. And even though I'm recording this right now, like the day before it's gonna go out, I still don't know quite what it is, but I hope you liked it. So stay tuned for the next Goshen Man video. Glacier, I'll see y'all later.